Can you give me 5 minutes for a conversation with you? I often think, like, what is the hardest thing as a therapist, as a human person, right? What is one of the hardest things? And I think it's actually really striking that the hardest thing for most of us is accepting what's real. Think about how much time you spend or have spent trying to make a person, a situation, a circumstance, something other than what it was. And why? Why do we spend so much of our time and energy trying to make something different? I'll tell you why. Because our ego, which is a miraculous part of us, it's the part that when we were very little safeguarded us to think that I'm in control, right? In this great big world, I'm this little person. And the ego said, hey, no matter what, I'm in control here. No matter what, if I try hard enough and work hard enough, I'm going to figure it out and it's going to be okay. Until it isn't, right? Until we get to a certain age and we say, you know what, this isn't working. And instead of the ego stepping down and saying, oh, okay, you're right, it's not working, we've got to try another approach. No, it's going to try harder. It's going to force things. It's going to force a round peg in a square hole, because the ego, that part of us that says, I'm going to get what I want, I know better, and if I work hard enough, it's all going to work out. That ego is the path to unhappiness. And the more we feed it, the more we lose sight of who we really are, and we lose sight of the reality of a situation or a person or a circumstance. Carl Jung, who I absolutely adore, and for those of you out here, Jung, Carl, I would explore some of his work, because it talks about, as we chip away at the ego, that part of us that needs to control everything and be in charge, and as we allow that to fade away, what we return to is authenticity. Not only the authenticity within ourselves, as we talked about in part 1, but the authenticity of all things, all people, all circumstances. And it hurts like hell when someone disappoints us. It hurts like hell when we believed someone or something to be something and it turns out to be something incredibly different. It hurts. And with that often comes a lot of shame or self-doubt or blaming of the self because, well, we should have known better. But sometimes, especially those who are really holding on to the ego, they create their own illusions. They create their own versions of reality, and they're so good at selling it, right? So we can sit in that space of, I'm blaming myself for believing something that wasn't true, and then actually grieve it, accept that reality, move on. Or we stay stuck with the ego saying, no, that can't be. That can't be. And we keep pouring into it, and we keep giving it our energy and our attention and our devotion until we realize there's nothing left to give. And it's still what it always was. This is one of the hardest things, being in this human form. Accepting that there's so many things we can't control. But I'll tell you, there's 2 things you can. One of them is, who are you going to be and how are you going to respond? That's it. That's the only thing you have control over. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you say, you know what? Can't control anything else, but I can control me. I can control my reaction. I can choose to hold on. I can choose to let go. I can choose to participate. I can choose not to participate. That choice, my darling, has always been yours. Choose wisely. For this and more life lessons, Erica Martin.